Welcome to the Foxhole. I'm Nandor Fox Schaefer. Thanks for joining me today, guys. This is going to be a heavy video, but before we get into it, please subscribe to this channel. Please like this video. Tell me what your thoughts are. Hope you're enjoying the content that I'm creating. Please let me know. I think we're only 5 away from 100 subscribers, so that's awesome. I'd love to get over that this week. So yeah, I have with me the Nightly News hardcover 5th anniversary edition by Jonathan Hickman. And we're not going to go into this comic. We're actually going to go into something that is at the very back of this comic, and we'll talk about that. But before we get into that, I want to talk about being a writer and being a creative person and being someone who has all this unarticulated mass of thoughts and emotions and ideas that they want to put out and share with the world. I just want to talk about that for a moment and let you guys know that it's hard, being a creator, being a writer. I mean, there's so many things that you have to balance and take into account when you go on this journey of being a creative and trying to fulfill your dream and reach your goals. I really wanted to drive home that you're not alone in this endeavor, and that as a writer and as someone who where everything starts up here and you're trying to get all that down out there, and on paper or wherever it is, something I have to think about is how every successful person, every popular writer, every superstar writer in person, they all started where us indie people and the little guy where we start, and that's by ourselves at our desk, in the kitchen, at a coffee shop, wherever, with a notebook or a laptop or a tablet in our hands, writing and drawing and creating and putting all of the things that we feel and think and making it coherent in a story and being a storyteller. It's a really motivating thing to think about, because there are times where life just gets in the way, where you have all these commitments and these things that you have to do, whether it's your day job or your relationship or your family life or just regular day-to-day commitments and things that, doing the dishes like that. You have to realize that you're not the only one that goes through that, and that most popular writers like Jonathan Hickman, who is my favorite comic book writer of all, were all there. The Nightly News was Jonathan Hickman's first book. Before he worked for Marvel, before he worked anywhere else, this was his first comic. And it was a pretty big hit when it came out in 2006. And it was unlike anything. And you probably wouldn't realize this, but he drew this book too. He wrote and drew the Nightly News. This particular edition has behind the scenes material, has the script for issue 1, which is actually something I looked at when I was starting to write and work on seasons. And it also has some design, little photo reference and things like that he was looking at when he was creating, so you could see some of his creative process. Now, in the back of this graphic novel, this particular edition, there is a kind of anecdote afterword that Jonathan Hickman put in here. It's called Fully Committed. And I wanted to read it here for you guys and to you guys, because I remember being someone who was struggling to, which I do still struggle, but just starting out and thinking about the kind of creator I wanted to be and what motivated me as someone who wanted to write comics. And I would look at this and it would recharge me and get me excited. And that's something I want to give to you guys if you hadn't heard of this and seen this. So let me read it for you, and I'd love to know what you think. It was October 2nd, 2004. I was sitting alone, bawling my eyes out in a little Greek restaurant about half a block from the hotel where I was attending a Robert McKee seminar. I was reading Stephen Pressfield's book, The War of Art. It's a book about overcoming obstacles that stand in the way of creative undertakings. It's about realizing the only thing preventing you from succeeding is yourself. It's about becoming the person you are meant to be. Here's an excerpt. We don't even know what hit us. I never did. From age 24 to 32, resistance kicked my ass from East Coast to West Coast and back 13 times, and I never knew it existed. I looked everywhere for the enemy and failed to see it right in front of my face. From 24 to 32, I was that guy. Pressfield uses the word resistance to identify that thing within every creative person that keeps us from actually creating. Doubt, procrastination, fear, etc. You know what I'm talking about. A couple months earlier, I decided to try and make a go of making comics. But it was that night I stopped being a dabbler and became a creator. I went back to my hotel, sat down, and wrote myself a reminder. Now I read it every day before I start work. I am my own enemy. Resistance is my nature. I am aware of resistance, and it prevents me from achieving the life I am meant to have. Resistance is self-generated, self-perpetuated. It lies and seduces. Its goal is my utter destruction. Every day is a battle for my soul. This moment, this day, I change my life. Help me to defeat myself and realize fate. Now, is all this a little too spiritual? Is it too much new age, feel-good self-actualization? Maybe, but am I committed? Absolutely. Now I have to ask, are you?